All right, A-Dub, a.k.a. who you are. I'm going to let you do that part, man. Introduce yourself.
Adrian Washington, man. Adrian Washington. Live in St. Cloud, originally from Mississippi. Been in St. Cloud for 20-something years. You know what I'm saying? I was just one of the niggas that didn't leave.
That's what's up.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. What you do for a living, bro?
I'm a stand-up comedian, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And let them know how long you've been doing that and what that entails.
February 2019, and made 15 years. February 24th, 2004, I got on stage for the first time at First Street Station here in town. And for me, man, I always thought I was kind of funny, but I knew girls like to laugh, so it was an easy way for me to break ice with women for the most part. And just talk shit. I come from a big family. If you couldn't hold your own talking, you know what I'm saying, usually got ran over. So me being one of the, like the closest thing to the middle kid, it was 4 younger than me, 5 older than me. So I had to figure out where I wanted to fit in at, where I could blend and still hold my own. So shit talking just became, you know what I mean, like my uncles and them talked to us. I was 7 years old, talked to us like we was grown. You know what I'm saying? So I picked up on it a lot, man, watching a lot of stuff I shouldn't have been watching when I was a kid, but it intrigued me. I didn't know how much it intrigued me at the time, but it stuck with me. Like me and bro was talking the other day about there's certain things you still do. I just turned 42, and I remember like having like watches. I'd find old watches and put them together and try to make one nice watch out of it, or maybe 2 watches, but my wife just got me another watch for Christmas. So I'm on like 9 watches now I got at the crib that I switch with different outfits and everything, but it's still a part of me. I was teasing him because he in the cars. I remember we'd get Hot Wheels cars, bro. And he was already trying to cut the tops off of them and switch wheels out on them. Like, bro, the cars come how they supposed to come. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the gift of gab, man, I got it. A lot of people got it. I just decided to use it. You know what I'm saying? So, scared as hell, February 24th. And I knew the manager at the club. I remember thinking to myself, I heard a comic, but I didn't hear the people laughing. I was sitting at the bar, and I was just like, I could at least do this, if not better. That was my thought process on it. And I always told myself if the opportunity would ever arise where I could have an opportunity to give it a shot, I would. So I had to check myself in my own moment, because I knew the dude, I knew the club. I was like, put up and shut up. You know what I'm saying? And he told me come down and do. I could be a host. He was like my host going back to college. So he's like, a lot of comics, that's how they get comfortable on stage. They start hosting. And I think I had only told a couple people. He was one of them, man. And I just told myself, I'm going to give comedy a try. He was like, what you mean you going to try it? I was like, that's what I mean. I'm going to try it. You know what I'm saying? See what, like, I think I can do it. And so I went down there, bro, and scared as hell. And I got there early so I could kind of watch the crowd. I think I had wrote down a couple things, but I never could write a joke. To this day, I don't write jokes at all. I never could write a joke. I could write a topic, and I can tell myself already, I know myself good enough to know I could bullshit this topic for at least 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So my thing used to be, if I could write down 15 topics, to me that's a half-hour set. What started happening was I'd write down 15 topics, and when I got off stage, I was like, all right, I still did a half-hour set, but I only got through 3 or 4 topics. You know what I'm saying? So it made me just kind of get away from it. And then I started to get lazy early, too, because then I'd be like, oh, I got a show tonight. Let me go to my little notepad. These people ain't heard these yet, so I'm going to go to that. And it got repetitive. And the one thing I knew when I got into comedy was I don't ever want to be that dude that, like, every time I see him, he said the same thing. Because as a fan of comedy, I used to spend good money to go see comics. And I drive to Minneapolis, and you see these dudes, and they make you laugh, and they crack you up. And then you go see them 2-3 years later, and half of the shit they do on stage, you just paid $75 again for a ticket. they doing stuff they either had out on DVDs or they've been doing it so long you already know that set. So that wasn't funny to me. And so I knew I didn't want to be that dude, man. So got on stage, man, and said I'm gonna give it a shot. And scared as hell, I did my 5 minutes. And actually, I didn't even get the host. The host decided to stay, so the dude at the club was like, "Hey, man, we'll give you a guest spot." I didn't even know what a guest spot was at the time. He's like, "That's when you get to go on stage like 5 minutes ahead of time, but you're still in front of the audience. You just get to go before the other comics." So I was like, "All right, cool, man." And he gave me time, bro. And I remember like my heart felt like it was in my throat. You know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't. I had to tell myself, "Calm down, calm down, calm down," because I'm at home. You know what I'm saying? It was a packed house. So I'm at home. I'm in my own town. So if I'm shitty at this, people gonna hear about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I always felt I was too cool to have bullshit said about me. So I was like, I gotta do this to the best of my ability. And I got up there, man, and I did it. I think for my first time, to be honest, I probably easily did a 6 or 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? I stayed in my own lane. I didn't talk about no shit I didn't know. And I ended up getting comfortable enough on stage where I sat down on stage because it calmed me down. Like, I remember sitting down on stage, and it was a dude I knew that I used to work with. Him and his girl was sitting in the front row. So that a familiar face was good for me, too. You know what I mean? So I did that, man. Long story short, I did that for like 6 months. And I realized I started bringing all these people, but I wasn't getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even getting a free drink. And it got to the point where I was bringing 20, 25 people a show. And I'd do it every other weekend when I didn't have my kid. And then they tried to tell me how I can and can't do it. Then some of the other comics was getting mad because now people starting to talk about me. You know what I'm saying? And the owner of the bar was like, "Man, you can't get off stage and have half the crowd get up and walk out with you." I was like, "Well, if I stay in there, they're gonna just talk. So if I walk out, so the other comics can do their thing." I said, "But yeah, my people who come see me, they really don't give a fuck about nobody else. I know that's wrong, but that's the mentality of it right now." You know what I'm saying? And so I just started, like, that was 6 months, man, and I started just booking my own shows. Because for one, I knew to do it the way I wanted to do it, I'm going to have to do it my way, and that way I didn't have to never depend on nobody else to call me for a show. And I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. I just knew something told me, like, do it your way. You know what I'm saying? And I started going to the cities, and I was doing Def Comedy auditions and Last Comic Standing auditions. So I was meeting all these other comics, and I let them know, like, "Hey, man, I got a show, I put together up there." And I tell them, I pay them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a paid show. I ain't asking you to come for free. And I get 2 or 3 other comics, man, and we just do the show together. I find like a VFW or something, or like that Michael's that was on Highway 10. I used to rent that out, whatever the rent cost, man. And I just, even if I didn't make a dime, I'd pay the comics what I told them I'd pay them, man. If I had to go in my own pocket and didn't make enough at the door, it was all part of the process. You know what I'm saying? I remember the first paid show I did, even my boys who worked the door for me, I still charged them for the show. And they didn't say much, but I know they was like, "Wait a minute, this nigga got us working for us and we paying?" But I told myself I had to know the full potential of it. So if I let anybody in free, I didn't know the full potential of it. Being my first show, I wanted to know, like, is this something I could really make some money off of doing? And I ended up paying them back, but yeah, I remember one of my partners looked at me and said, "Nigga, don't never have me work for you and work your door." I said, "We had fun, didn't I?" I just changed the conversation. So I did that, man, I started doing that 6 months in. And that's still what I do today, bro. Just do it on a different stage, you know what I'm saying? But it's pretty much the same concept.
I got a personal question for you.
Okay.
I never asked you this. We talk about a lot.
Okay.
But my personal question from me to you is, what was it like? You gave me your version, but what was it like to meet somebody on the magnitude of Dave Chappelle?
To this day, like, I just met him last year. Mm-hmm. And I met him because my my boy Donnell Rollins, who played Ashley Larry on the Chappelle Show. I had brought him here the year previous. And we hung out, when I booked him and everything. And cool dude, gave me his number, and we just always kind of kept in touch. I actually just did a show with him like 3 weeks ago down in Minneapolis. But it was like Chappelle tickets go so fast. Like literally, his tickets are gone in seconds. Because he don't do huge venues. He do shows where it's a few hundred people in there. You know what I'm saying? Because he likes the intimacy of it. You know what I'm saying? He could easily do the Target Center if he wanted to. But he liked to be able to look at people and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? So I seen, and then I knew the tickets was going to go so fast, I didn't even try to get tickets. Because one time I did get tickets to see him, I literally had 3 computers going. I had never seen him before. I had 3 computers going and my phone. And I was just sitting there at the time. I remember I was at my job, man. I had another lady helping me with clicking and refreshing to try to get these tickets. Because couldn't nobody get them. And, but this time, I was actually trying to open for him. Because I heard he was coming to town. So right away, I was like, I hit Donnell up. I was like, hey, is you going to be here with him? He's like, nah, I'm in Montreal at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, which is like the biggest festival in the nation. And I said, man, I'm trying to see, if I can get an open spot for him. He was like, man, send me a link of your video. So I grabbed one of my YouTube links, shot it to him. He was like, I get it to his road manager. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that alone, I was just like, you even considering it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, so then as a fan in my head, I'm just like, I might be opening for Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know the answer yet, but
right.
You just that geek that somebody at least take you that serious.
Right.
And so that was on like a Monday. I didn't hear shit from a Monday. I didn't hear shit from a Tuesday. And Wednesday, I was like, hey, man, just checking. And he was like, man, he's like, I'm sorry, bro. He's like, he's traveling with an opener. So he's like, ain't, much we can do about that. I was just like, thanks again for trying and everything. And I was like, man, I appreciate it. And then, like, he texted me back. He's like, hey, you want tickets? Hell yeah, I want tickets. You know what I'm saying? And it was the night before my wife's birthday. So my wife had never been to Rudolph's. So I took her to Rudolph's. We got us an Airbnb. Kicked it. They had 2-for-1s, a happy hour and shit, man. And I told her, I said, man, I've seen Dave like 2 or 3 times. I said, if I get in there this time, I said, even if I got to go to jail, I'm going to meet him tonight. I said, I'm gonna just let you know that. She's just like, babe, you better not. I was like, I said, hey, if he in there and I'm in there and I gotta get close to him, I'm gonna go to jail. So we go in there, bro. And this venue I had never been in before, but there was only like 150 people at this show. You know what I'm saying? Very VIP. And what I didn't know, Donnell got us VIP pass. So I go in there, say my name on the list. I was like, how this work, bro? Like, y'all see this, or we just in standing room only, or whatever? And we still behind the curtain. Like, I don't know what the show side looked like. So he was like, actually, man, you got VIP. So he was like, you can sit anywhere where the table say reserved at. So we walk in, and a lot of people standing. It's only like 40 spots for seats. You know what I'm saying? So we walk all the way around the room, and there's a couple sitting in a booth. It's a big-ass booth. And there's an old white couple sitting there. So we took the end of the spot. And they came to, like, security came and got us, like, hey, man, y'all got to move. We got to move y'all upstairs. Sorry about that or whatever. And I was like, damn. Because the stage was like I'm sitting, like, my seat was just like right here. I sat right here. My wife sat right there. Chappelle's stage was where that vent is right there, bro. So I'm like, God damn. His security's standing right here. So he got to walk past me. So when they said I had to move, I was like, damn. And they moved us upstairs. So I had the exact same seat. I just had it a level higher. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I can't get to him from here. And so I was like, it's cool. The tickets was free. We in here. We cool. Ain't a whole lot of black folks in here because, like Spell say, black folks must have slow internet. That's why they don't get tickets. And then they came back and got us, bro. They came back and got us, brought us right back to the seats. Like, sorry about that. That seat reserved for somebody else. And I was like, fuck it, man. And it was a black dude, big black dude. He's like, I knew they was going to bring y'all back. They don't know what the hell they doing. And so I looked at him. He's suited and everything. So I'm like, that's my end. So I said, hey, man. I said, what? I said, you security, bro? He said, yeah. He said, I do security for him. So I start name dropping. I tell him, Daniel got me my tickets, and I'm like, man, I said, bro, so I start telling him what I do. And I was like, man, I'm a huge fan, dog. I showed him I got a tattoo of Richard Pryor right here, because he was old school, so he appreciated it. Yeah. And he was like, man, so I was like, bro, I'm just trying to meet him, dog. Like I said, I got to meet him. I can't say I do this where I do it and how I do it and know he right here, and I don't get to meet him. You know what I'm saying? And he said, you know what, bro? He said, I'm going to make that happen for you. And he did his thing. He killed it on stage, man. And he walked back. And then because then people started walking up to him before he got off stage, shaking his hand and shit. And I was like, damn, I don't want to be one of them. I want to give him his space. So he came walking past, and he walked in the back room. And then the dude looked back at me. He said, bro, he said, just hang out. He said, it's his last night here, so I know he going to want to hang out a little bit. He said, he going to go back here for a little bit. He going to come back out. He said, so just hang loose. I said, all right. So me and my wife, we just hanging out. And sure enough, man, he came walking around the corner. And my wife was like, babe, there he is. I just turned around, and he was walking toward me. I stuck my hand out. I said, hey, man, love the set. You know what I'm saying? He said, he looked right in the face. I said, appreciate that, bro.